I am actually quitting. And this is bull. Thank you, Coolio, for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. As you can see, we're back on Twitch right now. And what am I quitting? I'm quitting streaming on Kick. And I want to give you a full depth explanation of why I went there, how it has been for 1 month, because it's literally on the dot, right? We went at like the end of March. So it was kind of like a week in March plus like 4 weeks in May. And as of ending last stream, which we ended with the Ben 10 Alien Force Season 2 finale from the second channel content, which was amazing. Shout out to go over there for Ben 10 content. I got hit with something. And this is like, it's actually kind of fucked up. So let's just go over the DMs first, right? Let's just go over the DMs right over here. So this is a Kick moderator, someone that I've been in kind of contact with, like my handler. Obviously, I'm blurring their name out. And this isn't really confidential information. This is just like an update of what's going on. So as I ended my stream last night on Kick, basically the reason for going to Kick is obviously money. I told you guys that I'm going to Kick for money. Kick has a lot of money. Why? Because they're associated with Stake, the gambling platform. Basically, Kick is able to operate on a loss. Amazon is absolutely operating on a loss, but Kick is willing to burn even more money by giving incentives to creators to pull up to their platform and stream there instead. What are these incentives? Well, first of all, you get paid an hourly rate. You get paid an hourly rate, which is dependent on your concurrent viewership and how much like engagement you have. There's like a formula around, and I was making pretty decent money for myself, right? It's nothing crazy. It's like $1 million contract. No. But the overall Kick partnership program, and again, this is not unique to me. Anyone that can become partnered on Kick can make a lot of money there. You also don't get ads, meaning your viewers, right, don't get fucked with ads. And the hourly rate I'm talking about alone is 6 to 12x the amount of money that I would have made on Twitch with everything included, right? So just to give you a ballpark of numbers, right? If I'm making like $500 to like $1,000 on average with whatever analytics I have on Twitch, based on AdSense, ad revenue, donations, gifted subs, and blah, 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 on Kick, you can literally make like 6 to like maybe 10K with those same numbers. You can see how insane this is, right? And it's way too good to be true. And I told myself, this is way too good to be true. It's a fucking scam. So I was hesitant, but I tried it. And after my first stream, maybe I can pull up the numbers. Maybe I can pull up the numbers here just to kind of give you guys an idea of ballpark of like how kind of crazy this was, right? Do I have the revenue, monetization, partner income? Let's see, for the month of March. Oh yeah, right over here. Literally right over here. Ready? I hope I'm not leaking anything crazy. I don't think so. It's just my analytical dashboard, and there is nothing else here, I think. Okay, so I'm pulling up my analytical dashboard. So this is what I was getting. So this is just for March, right? We streamed our first stream ever, I think, right? Was like on March 24th. And we streamed for about 2 hours and 38 minutes, made $87. And this is also US dollars, right? This is not Canadian, this is US actual dollars. Next stream, 7.5 hours, almost 200. 10-hour stream, 700 stream. Isn't that fucking crazy? Obviously, on March 27th, there was something very significant going on. I believe that was, obviously, we're streaming for almost 11 fucking hours. But on top of that, the average viewership during that stream was around 500 to 700, right? Why? Because I think it was Ben 10 movie reactions. Was it solo leveling? Was it solo leveling finale? I forget exactly what it was. But like, it was like a combination of many things that like, obviously this is not repeatable, right? This is an exception. What I'm trying to show you is this exceeds the amount of money that I've made in an entire month of streaming on Twitch with basically the same analytics. And that blew my mind. I'm grinding 200 fucking hours, right? Like, look at this shit. Twitch tracker. Let's look at like Twitch tracker over here and see exactly what I've been getting. It's unfortunate that, average viewers in May, well, I just started streaming right now. That's why it's like down like this. But we basically went March ended, you know, with like hours of streaming 144 because obviously we missed like the last week and a half. But if you look at before, right, 200 hours that I'm putting in with an average viewership around like 200-ish, right? And with that amount, I'm getting paid like 500 fucking Canadian dollars, bro. Or was it USD? I forget. It doesn't really matter. In a single stream, I beat my monthly revenue. And I was like, what the fuck? What? Does this make any sense to you? No, because this is not normal. This, the amount you're getting paid, yes, it is a real thing happening on Kick. But the reason they can do this is because they're willing to cannibalize into their revenue, meaning they're operating at a significant loss in order to try to poach small up-and-coming creators to bring their authentic audience over to Kick. And the hope is that they'll be able to establish an ecosystem on Kick. This is what Mixer was unable to do, if you guys remember about Mixer, right? Mixer was unable to do this because they just like blew all their money at like one person, like Ninja or some shit. And they thought that simply having Ninja would like basically have an entire ecosystem flourish. But it turns out if you plant one big tree in a desert, that's not going to do anything, right? An ecosystem, think about it like a forest, right? You got ginormous trees, you got like different life forms and shrubs and bushes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to give you an idea that it takes more than just one big tree to try to grow a forest. That's why Kick is honestly, I think, doing a very good job. They're giving creators this Kick partnership program, which is very lucrative. And if you're able to, you know, create content like this, absolutely, you can make a shitload of money. But again, Kick is able to do that because they're willing to operate on a loss. This isn't going to be forever, most likely. This is just like the early phase where, again, anytime you've seen like new apps or let's say, for example, like even back in the day, Netflix, when it was so like new, I think the deals were better, right? Because they're trying to like be a better competitor. But once a product has matured after the early growth phase, they can basically just clamp down and increase monetization aspects like what Twitch is doing right now and try to basically, you know, have a maintenance budget where they're basically, you know, making a lot of money. In order to compete against that, new competitors will come in and try to give you a deal that's way too good to be true. No ads, right, for the viewers. Better player also. You can literally move the player around for like YouTube player stuff. And obviously, the ad, not even ad revenue, straight up an hourly fucking rate paid to the creators, which again is an amazing deal. But like I said, with all good things, things must come to an end, right? So hey, just providing some clarification on the watch parties and how it affects your content. Since you have joined us on Kick, we have revised our moderation policy surrounding watch parties. If there has been a lack of transparency, I do apologize. This current stance on watch parties is that all content in the realm of movies, TV shows, anime, etc. will no longer be monetized on the platform. I understand how this affects your content, and I hope this provides clarity on the email you received from moderation, right? And just to kind of give you an idea, this is like what it is, right? There's been a change in the policies, blah, blah, blah. So these are like the core tenets, right? This is like 10 commandments. And the craziest thing is, you can't do gambling content. A lot of people shit talk Kick. And listen, this isn't me like necessarily being mad at Kick. Shoutouts to Code Geass. This isn't me like being upset at such things. I'm just trying to paint a picture of my experience. And a lot of people have a negative like image of what Kick is because of, I guess, the creators that they're like involved with. And you know, there's like just memes being made of it. They literally ban gambling content. Did you know that? Isn't that fucking crazy? They also will not monetize watch parties, right? You also can't, you know, sleep during live streams. Why do I say that? Sometimes I get so tired, guys, that I accidentally take a power nap and it's like 2 to 3 hours and I'm like, oh shit, I was streaming. On Twitch, I've done that maybe 2 times over my like entire career of streaming for like a year. I don't get banned. On Kick, they go hard. So the moderation on Kick actually is way harsher and way more strict. And in my opinion, I think they're trying to obviously look a little bit more clean as they're trying to be more mainstream and get around it. It's unfortunate though, because on Twitch, because this is a very bad move. And I understand that the reaction space and reaction content creators, we're a dime a dozen. But not only that, we're very niche. Like we're not pulling in crazy numbers. Me leaving Kick and them banning, you know, reaction content, or at least demonetizing reaction content, is not going to really impact them, right? But it is very unfortunate that literally just as I joined, they changed their entire policy about this. And I fucking knew from the beginning that like, this is too good to be true. This is not going to be everlasting. I made a huge chunk of money in May doing this, but in the back of my head, I was like, this is borrowed power. As in, this is fraudulent. I'm not going to like increase my expectations of like, all right, this is the amount of money that I'm going to be making from here on out. I was like, this can go away just like that. And as soon as we hit May, went away just like that. And for those reasons, I am now on Twitch. For anybody that wants to actually create content and do streaming, I would recommend Kick, right? I straight up would. Okay, first of all, many people have a negative association with Kick, thinking like, oh my god, there's gambling content, it's so bad. That's where all like the fucking banned streamers go. That's not the case, because again, look at this shit. They literally have more strict and more clean moderation than Twitch. On Twitch, there's plenty of gambling content, straight up. Did you know? Like if you go on Twitch, you literally just go to slots and casinos or some shit. On Twitch. Oh, what's up, Flexi? We have like slots. Right? Isn't there a little category? Straight up. There is a literal fucking category called slots. Did you know? Like, you think that gambling only exists on Kick? Twitch has a literal fucking category dedicated towards this shit, and they're all getting paid. So you have to really ask yourself, are you truly understanding what's going on with Kick and Twitch? Or are you ignorantly, branding Kick as like a Nazi platform because some people that stream there you don't like and you have misguided notions about what that is? That's clearly not the case, right? Kick is honestly, again, pretty fucking clean. And despite that, some people will basically like say, oh, if you're streaming on Kick, then you're like a bad person. Because it's like, oh, that's gambling blood money you're making. This kind of like moral high grounding I find is so ridiculous. Because if you really think about it, Kick and Amazon operate on the same fucking web hosting service called AWS, right? Amazon Web Services. If you don't know what that is, just imagine it's just this internet stuff where they need it to operate, okay? That's their business. Amazon, if you're not aware, has very questionable, if not very blatant, harsh working, policies that basically is like modern slavery, right? You've heard of all the fucking stories. You've heard of all the shitty things going on. So are you then advocating for like what? Employee slavery? Take a step back even further. The phone that you're probably watching on is a fucking smartphone. Do you think that your smartphone was created in an ethical way? It's probably created by some like Chinese, kids getting paid pennies. Does that mean that suddenly you are advocating for that because you have the product? No. This is the capitalistic society that we are bound by. And just because you participated doesn't mean that you are some sort of evil beholder of that system. That's just reality and you gotta fucking live with it, right? So with that being said, other than the moral, ethical high grounding, Kick, I would honestly recommend to anybody to stream there if you want to make good money. But just because like you start streaming on Kick doesn't mean you're going to start making money, right? Because like on Twitch, and this is what I say, I think streaming is not something that you should expect to get results right away. I would recommend that everything that you do on stream is recorded content that you can make into YouTube videos to be edited so that you can grow an audience on YouTube using the algorithm there, create a community, and then port them over to Twitch. You will never grow on Twitch by just streaming on Twitch and expecting something to happen. Because if we go browse and go to, I don't know, just literally just live channels, let's sort by views low to high. You know how many people are streaming to one viewer? Thinking that if I'm playing the right game, if I'm hitting the right trends, somehow it's going to reward me. There is no discoverability on Twitch. It is a pointless endeavor. You are wasting your time thinking if you only stream on Twitch that you're going to get viewers. It's a waste of time. But it shouldn't mean you shouldn't stream. You should still do it with the expectations that no one's going to watch you. But at the same time, everything that you do on stream should be productive and be made into content you can make into YouTube videos or TikTok videos and promote your Twitch channel. That way, you can bring people from YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever onto Twitch, and that's how you start to get incorporated in the ecosystem. And once you have a sizable following of averaging maybe like 50 to 100 viewers or some shit, I don't really know, yeah, I think that you should probably try to stream on Kick and actually make use of the Kick partnership program, where again, the amount of revenue that I've shown you, it is more significant. Now, there's pros and cons to this, right? There's pros and cons to streaming on Kick, because first of all, you're thinking, oh, if I just stream on Kick, then I'm gonna make so much money, right? Assuming that you have the actual authentic viewership in a community that's willing to watch you for an extended period of time, yeah, you probably make enough money to get by. But here's the negatives. It is without a doubt that Twitch is the place to be. Twitch is the ecosystem that has flourished, that has so many different communities. Everybody wants to be a Twitch streamer. Nobody really says that they want to be a Kick streamer, right? Let's just be completely honest right now. Everybody wants to be a Twitch streamer because that is where the most notable and reputable brands and people are. And by me being on Twitch, what does that give me? Opportunities to collaborate with other streamers and quote unquote leech off of their viewership. Shout outs to Alicia X Life, shout outs to Nicholas Light, shout outs to Flexi J Anime, shout outs to That's the Bird literally streaming right now, shout outs to Freshest Anime, shout outs to ED Anime, and so on and so forth, of all these different creators that we have interacted because we simply streamed on the same platform. Me simply hosting them or rating them afterwards gives them more exposure, and they're willing to check me out too, and we can all grow together. That is a crucial part that doesn't exist on Kick right now. So when I'm streaming on Kick, basically the mindset is the only growth that's going to happen is through YouTube viewership. And that's honestly pretty good enough. But again, it's not the same with living in the same flourishing ecosystem, this forest we call Twitch. So these are, again, the trade-offs, the pros and cons of should you stream on Kick? Should you stream on Twitch? At the end of the day, I don't really have an answer. If you're a GigaChad and you can just pull like fucking, I don't know, tens of thousands of viewers, thousands of viewers to Kick without needing any help, and yeah, I guess it makes sense that you make content there because now that's hourly rate that you're missing out on, right? You don't really need Twitch, right? But that's kind of like the overall mindset that I've approached this. So TLDR, we are going to be streaming on Twitch now. Doesn't mean that we don't stream on Kick, right? For specific use cases like Takamine, you know, High School DxD, or any other show in the future that fucking shows nipples, which is so annoying. Like, these goddamn nipple animes are the bane of my existence because I have to like end the stream on Twitch or I'm gonna get banned and go over to a different platform just to record one session for that. It's so annoying. It's such a wasted time. It's annoying that it's even a rule on Twitch about that, but it's also annoying on like on the anime side of like, yo, these nipples are not giving me a better like fucking what's the word? Experience. Like, I'm not more immersed because you're showing nipples. It's the most unnecessary fan service that you're just baiting like random kids with. It's like whatever. All right. Anyways, so on Kick, we'll be going there just for specific use cases again. And again, you can stream this kind of content. It's just you're going to be demonetized, right? You're going to be making zero money for it. So it's in my best interest to move everything back to Twitch. We're back on Twitch. Check out the comments for the pinned comment for the link. We're streaming right now, probably. Depends on when you pulled up, but that's pretty much it. Is there anything else that I wanted to mention? I've told you guys about my experience over on Kick. I've shown you the potential to make money there, right? I've shown you what is wrong and what is going wrong. Basically, policies changed. I was too good streaming reactions, and now they said no more reactions. Bad. Got it? Demonetized. You can still stream. It's just demonetized. What else have we learned? I showed you the pros and cons of whether or not you should stream on Kick or Twitch based on what kind of like, you know, goals or where you kind of are at, right? Again, everything should be starting from the stream, recording if you can, and the recorded content should be made into videos that are advertisements, right? On YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, Instagram, I don't care, different platforms to bring those viewers over your streams. You should never expect your stream to grow just by streaming on a platform, but there are cases in the future where you have a sizable community and now you're interacting with other communities in that same ecosystem, which opens up opportunities for collaboration. And that's pretty much it. Am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? No, I think I've done a pretty good breakdown. Do you guys have any questions in chat? No more muscles and cooking streams? No, we can do that on Twitch. It's just Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's just like, am I in the mood to be cooking right now? Do I want to do it later? It's just pretty much that. Nothing's gonna be changing. I'm basically just streaming on Twitch now instead. It kind of sucks for you guys, right? That like you guys have ads back, but a lot of people and there's like Kick honestly had like a better user experience in my opinion, right? Because like you have no ads and the player, you can scroll back like on YouTube to check what have I missed. On Twitch, you don't have that. If I started streaming on Kick from the beginning, do you think you'd end up to switch to Twitch later on? Well, I'd probably switch up whenever they banned, reactions. It really depends on what kind of streamer you are, right? But due to the nature of my content, reactions, yeah, I would have honestly gone to Twitch the moment that I got demonetized, right? It's just kind of pointless. Kick is banned in some countries, true. VPN exists though, right? Yeah, no ads. It was a good experience there, right? No emo spam. Well, you guys have custom emotes now, right? Kick has a nice Kick has a nice chat UI where they have built-in emotes that's really fun to just click and spam. But like on Twitch, you guys literally have custom emotes that we can pull in, way more creative, way more, unique ways to do it because we have integration with like 7TV, Better TV extensions and stuff like that, right? So like everything is fine. Yeah, it was good while it lasted, right? It was good while it lasted, but like with anything, you should always maintain expectations. Because again, like if I was a dumber person, I would have seen the money that I've made over the last couple weeks, and it would have literally been like, oh man, I'm making this much money now, I can ball out. Like, imagine that I increased my lifestyle expenses. Imagine if I, paid my editor more by having, and like, of course, editors need to be paid correctly, but like the worst thing you can do is to increase the rates of something and suddenly cancel that shit due to your own circumstances that, is changing, right? That's why you got to be so careful about this shit of like, how sustainable is it? How consistent is it? Is it likely that this is going to keep happening, right? Sometimes you just get fucked, man. Sometimes you literally just get fucked because of policy changes that you have no control over. But that's okay, right? The loser mindset would be, oh man, I'm so mad. The life is against me. I quit. That's a loser mindset. The winner mindset is, I'm going to keep doing the things while the opportunities are there. And eventually, not everything is going to be permanent. Things will be banned, things will change, different regulations and laws will be put in place. But that's okay. Because the human will is all about adaptability and surviving, right? Problem-solving mindset, all right? No more money from Kick. It is what it is. I never saw the money as a real thing. I made a nice little chunk of money around it. And now I got a decent paycheck. We're back on Twitch. We can now collaborate with other streamers. We can start rating and interacting with other streamers too, right? We got a better culture on Twitch too, right? Regarding different chat culture and stuff like that. We can still stream anime reactions, right? Nothing changes, right? You got to just keep moving forward, adapt, problem solve, and just keep grinding. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Anything else I should be mentioning? Follow the Twitch, show up on Patreon. Bye-bye.